Group probably played as well as any group did Saturday night, right?
Well, I thought we did good as a team. Obviously didn't go as planned towards the end of the score, but I thought everybody played as a unit. You know what I mean? Obviously, we got to keep getting better every single week.
How concerned were you about the DPI calls and just, I mean, it's one of those things where if the guys turn their head, it's probably not a call, right? I mean,
Yeah. I tell you what, it's up to the referee's job. All we do is we're going to try to play physical through guys on a certain route that they run. That's what we can control, just covering those guys and making it a tight window for the quarterback. So.
Did you think you guys did a pretty successful job overall on Saturday?
I don't care what we do. I always think there's room for improvement. But at the same time, I thought guys played well together in the secondary. And I think defense as a whole, a lot of guys communicated. Everybody played well with each other, so that was good to see, really.
What do you tell guys about flags and when they get them or frustrations or stuff like that over them?
You always try to tell guys to stay easy. All right, worry about the next play. So you don't want to get yourself wound up and mentally wounded, if you will, by anything. It doesn't mean the referee and or whatever's happening in the game. You got to look at the next play.
How do you think Damari played?
I think he played well. He's very productive. He's very good in his technique, fundamentals. He made some plays on the ball. He had good reaction skills, and he showed he knew what they were trying to do.
He had a couple of PBUs back-to-back in that little sequence. How big do you think that sequence was for him looking back on it on film?
Well, anytime you get your hands on the ball, that's the name of the game, for the secondary. Obviously want to get some interceptions on that as well, but at the same time, he did a very good job, understanding what they were trying to do, change it up within the game based on the route combination that they were running. So I thought he did a really good job in that regard.
Harris is not the biggest guy in the world, but he seems to be pretty good in the box safety, getting down there and get against the run. But what do you think is behind all that?
Well, I think he is a big guy because his heart's so big. So he's got a lot of energy, a lot of juice. He keeps everybody around him. He's like an energizer buddy, if you will. Once he gets going, the whole defense gets going. So a lot of things revolve around him and his energy. So I'd say he's a big guy.
Did his game look good in review as it did Saturday night?
Absolutely. He did a lot of great things. And the good thing about Paris, he's going to continue to get better and better as the weeks go on. So I'm encouraged to see where he's going to end up towards the end of the year because, the sky's the limit for him based on all the rep counts that he gets, the more experience he gets and understands, how he fits in that piece of the puzzle.
Talking about his rep counts is one of the things that you could add on later is playing more in those sub packages, third down kind of things.
Absolutely. That's what we talk about all the time. Like I said, as the season continues to progress, he's learning more. So again, he's going to be in most of those packages in the future as long as he keeps working and doing what he's supposed to do. And again, it goes back to controlling what he can't control, and that's what he can control, doing his best in every day in practice. That's what he's been trying to do.
Going back to those PI calls, is that something you teach your players, is to be aggressive early and live with the penalties later?
Like I said, obviously, it's a new thing now. Nowadays, or the last few years, more back shoulder fades, so we got to play aggressively through those. And that's kind of what's changed the game is the quarterback's ability to throw back shoulders. So it's a lot different than in the past where you're getting true fade balls. So you got to know which technique to utilize based on what the receivers show you. So that's, to answer your question, we got to be physical on those back shoulders.
How different of a challenge is Ohio than what you saw last week?
Well, I think both of them were very good, tough teams. Ohio's very tough, and they've got a running quarterback as well. A guy that everything revolves around the quarterback again. But they're going to try to run the ball. They're going to try to out-toughen you, and kind of go from there. But it's similar in certain regards.
In what areas can Damari get better?
Just come to practice every day, working every day. Continue to work on again, just dropping his hips. He's got great speed. Always going to work on his ball skills, regardless if they're perfect and or not. So again, more and more reps that they get during the game, they're going to get more experience and they'll get better just from that. Rep counts and things of that nature as well.
Pat talked yesterday about those short fields and you have to take that into account, but you want to give up 3, not 7 in those situations. Did you see anything that happened on those 3 drives that you would kind of sought out to correct going forward?
Okay, repeat that one more time.
The 3 short field drives that they had that were touchdowns, Pat was saying, you have to kind of take that into consideration, a lot of that in defense, but you want field goals, not touchdowns on those. What were you seeing? What did you see when you looked at the film of those 3 drives that you talked to your guys about in those situations?
Well, I tell you what, 2 of those drives, obviously it's on communication and executing what the communication is. But that's our goal as defense. Doesn't matter where we get got to challenge the ball at. We love sudden change because it gives us another opportunity to get out there on the field. Again, it's how we look at it. But yeah, we want to hold them to field goals and be a great defense. That's what we got to do, and that's what we will do in the future.
How was the rep count among your three cornerbacks? So they pretty much playing even?
Yeah, they
Equal
came out. They
reps?
came about equal. I mean, we're lucky enough to have three good players, and love them all. And they come challenge each other each day in practice, and it's good to see every day in practice. So it's good to see that when they get their opportunities on the field, that they make the best of them too.
As a coach, how do you decide when to put the third guy in?
Every week is going to be based on practice, in regards to who's practicing the most, things of that nature. And then, again, trying to get it evened out because they're all equal right now. They're all starting corners right now. So I want to try to keep those rep counts as even as possible, period.
Getting back to Ohio quickly, what have you kind of seen on film from Nathan Rourke and kind of what challenges does he present?
Well, he's a good quarterback, multi-year starter. He's got one returning receiver that's coming back that's been there for a little bit, playing for a little bit. The other few guys are newer. But he's pretty dynamic in regards to where he places the ball when he does throw it. So they'll take a lot of deep shots. I think he can complete the intermediate pass as well. He's a good player.
Are you concerned about the defense as a whole being on the field for a lot of plays on Saturday night?
Again, it comes back to control we can control. We enjoy having the opportunity to be out there again. So we want to embrace that, and I think we've got enough depth in which that we can handle situations like that.